Will he probably be in my corner? Probably not.
If it's just to make money, then that's great. Let us know. I want to coach world champions. So my motivations are different.
Sean Strickland and his head coach, Eric Nicksick, are going through a little bit of tough times. They're going through a little bit of a breakup right now following UFC 312. Eric Nicksick went on Ariel Helwani's podcast and said he got brutally honest about Sean Strickland is what happened. Sean Strickland responded. It doesn't look like Eric Nicksick is going to corner Sean Strickland at all going forward. So today we're going to talk about it. Sean Strickland got dumped by his coach. Stick around for the full story. I'm Wyatt. This is Fight Society. Before we get into the video, guys, please make sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment down below. All that good YouTube stuff really helps me out a lot. If you want access to bonus content like members-only live streams and you want to support the channel even further, become a channel member via the link in the description of this video or the join button on our channel homepage. Thank you very much. Back to the video. All right, guys. So Sean Strickland lost to Dricus du Plessis this past weekend at UFC 312, and Sean Strickland has gotten a lot of criticism from the fan base over his performance, given that he says things like,
I can't wait to get out there and try to shorten this man's life for you guys to the death, Dutchman.
And then goes out and fights like. This here is Eric Nicksick being brutally honest about Sean Strickland's UFC 312 performance.
Uninspired fighting to me. It just seemed like he was sleepwalking. Yeah, it was tough, man. I was just trying to dig him out of it. Through the rounds, I didn't know if he was trying to collect data in the beginning or if it was just a slow start or what was going on. But, as the rounds began to progress, I can just tell that it just didn't feel like he was in it the way most of the times that he is. So,
and that's what most of us saw as well. If you watched UFC 312 and you saw the main event, Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland, you would have walked away from that the same way I did, saying that Sean Strickland did not show up that night trying to win a fist fight. He just didn't. It's just the truth. And Eric Nicksick, is questioning Sean Strickland's motivations because Sean Strickland's big on the mic and he talks a lot of shit and he's makes the political statements and he gets a lot of headlines to the point where the Australian government and the Australian journalism or whatever it is, they're asking him to get knocked out on the front page. So for him to fight like that after talking the way he does makes you question if Sean's a grifter. There's a lot of people saying Sean Strickland is a grifter. I've been saying this recently too. Sean Strickland baits people with these promises of, for you fucking guys, to the death, we're going to fucking bleed. And then he goes out and fights like that. He baits people in with that talk to get them to buy an $80 pay-per-view that he may be getting points on, and then fights like that. It just feels like a con. And even Eric Nicksick is questioning his fighters' motivations for showing up at all.
I think he needs to evaluate what he wants to do in the sport. If it's just to make money, then that's great. Let us know. I want to coach world champions. So my motivations are different.
What is going through your mind as you're...
And that really is like a great way to put it, an uninspiring performance, which is the complete opposite of this picture right here where he fought Adesanya last in Sydney in the same arena. So here is Eric Nicksick questioning the future of him and Sean Strickland working together.
I've ever asked a coach before, but you're so open and honest, and I appreciate that very much. And you were sort of alluding to something along these lines, so I feel like I just have to ask it. If this is the type of performance that we are set to see from Sean in the future, do you not want to coach him anymore? Do you not want to work with him anymore?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment that I would have to sit down with Sean and talk to him about, right? Like, where can my services be of help for you? I think as a coach, you get credit for things you don't do essentially as much, and you get the blame for things that you might not do as well. So you got to be right there in the middle. But in situations like this, where your motivations might change, and if that's the case, if his motivations have changed to something different, where it's like, hey, I'm
crazy that this is where we're at when this was literally a week ago, 6 days ago, them together. Nicksick wears a shirt of Sean Strickland taking a selfie with Trump. I think that was at UFC 302. I understand what Eric Nicksick is saying because Eric Nicksick gets judged as a coach off of his fighter's performance more times than not. I know that people are being pretty gracious towards him, and a lot of people are putting basically all the blame on Sean. But Eric Nicksick has to look out for himself a little bit too, where he's like, okay, why am I'm putting in all this effort to strategize a game plan to help you prepare mentally, flying to the other side of the world when I have a wife and kids, for you to fight like that? It seems like you're wasting all of our time. And this also reflects on me as a coach, because people are going to think that I didn't prepare you correctly, or I'm not pushing you to close holes in your games. I understand. I know that's not what Eric Nicksick said, but I'm paraphrasing. And I understand that would be extremely frustrating. And I'd question that too. I mean, he's come a long way, but it's worth mentioning that Sean Strickland has gotten kicked out of like 5 gyms before he ended up at Xtreme Couture. Like, I'm pretty sure Sean Strickland got kicked out of Dan Henderson's gym. I'm pretty sure he got kicked out of Syndicate that was over in Vegas, something like that. And then I think there was a Millennia MMA. There's 3 or 4 teams that Sean Strickland's gotten kicked out of, or like had issues with, and went and found a new team. And a lot of people talk about Alex Pereira not offering any advice in the corner because he doesn't speak English and there's no one there to translate. And this is what Eric Nicksick had to say about Alex Pereira in the corner.
On varsity, so hopefully maybe she'll get a little playing time.
Love it. Can I ask one last one? What was it like to corner a fight with Alex Pereira?
He's cool, man. Like he's intimidating as all hell. So, but he was cool. Like, leaned over a few times and he's looking at me like, what the hell's going on with Sean? I'm looking at him like, man, we need to get this out of him, So now he was cool.
And so that makes me think, with Sean Strickland not training with Eric Nicksick anymore, not having him corner, why not just, if you're Sean Strickland, go to Danbury, Connecticut, and train at Glover Teixeira's gym, even if it's for one camp, even if it's for a month. You have to fight with some sort of aggressiveness, because if you look at Sean Strickland's fights, he has to get ahead early, or the fight is gone for him. He's not a slick submission artist. He doesn't have KO power. And so if he doesn't get ahead early, the fight's over. Like, there is no jab and Tipa's way to back-to-back 10-8 rounds to salvage a decision win. It just doesn't work like that. And we saw that in his last fight. And that makes me think, dude, go train with Alex Pereira. You don't have like the God-given power and strength to KO anybody with any punch the way that Alex Pereira has. But you can train with Alex Pereira, and you can think about it like this. Pereira has came back and gotten finishes late in fights that he was losing. The Khalil Roundtree fight, he didn't look so great early, gets a round 4 finish. The first Adesanya fight in the UFC, he was down 3 rounds to 1, gets a 5th round TKO. Questionable or not, he got a finish. Alex Pereira can just go, boom, fight's over, And Sean Strickland can't. Go train with him. Even if you don't have that touch of death that Alex Pereira has, you got to develop some sort of game. Train with Glover, somebody that could mix the boxing and takedowns. Like, there just has to be a new wrinkle to the game. And Alex Pereira seems to like Sean Strickland. They should just make that work, Anyways, that's my take on that. But this is what Sean Strickland said in response. Sean Strickland posted this on his Instagram. He said, didn't want to post this, but Eric's podcast. This is behind me, back to square one. Thank you for all your support. Back to the grind in a few weeks, LOL. And this is what he had to say. He's basically saying, yeah, Eric's not going to be in my corner anymore.
All right, you guys keep tagging me about this whole Eric thing, and goddamn it, because I like Eric. He's a friend of mine, and he's going to continue to be a friend of mine. Will he probably be in my corner? Probably not. We have so many great guys at Xtreme, Nate, Ray Cepho. We have so many savages that I would love to corner me. But, man, that entire fight camp was just a struggle. Like, it was a fucking struggle. And, guys, we all have excuses as to why we didn't win or why we won and we shouldn't have won. We all fucking have excuses, and they don't fucking matter. The only reason why I'm making this video is because Eric had to go do a fucking podcast and become an influencer. So now I got to, all right, kind of explain myself.
I'm pretty tired of hearing this whole fucking influencers are lame thing from Sean Strickland, because he literally is like best friends with Nina Drama, goes on podcasts and makes appearances and shit like that. It's a little bit tired coming from someone who at this point is literally doing an influencer thing. Make it make sense to me.
This is not an excuse, but that entire camp was just a struggle of I'm good. Knowing you're not good.
Okay, So it's interesting to hear that, but I don't really want to hear the excuses after all that. You know, you fought uninspired. I understand you weren't feeling great, but that's not an excuse for how you felt, okay? You showed up to the fight, you lost. I get so tired of hearing fighters with excuses after fights. It's like, you're just not in a position to do that. If you were too hurt to perform well, don't show up. That's how I feel about it. So Eric Nicksick, I think he was really upfront and honest. Some of that conversation they should have had behind closed doors. But this is the game. You know, people have interviews to do. This is like, you know, media is part of this sports entertainment world. It's not just sport, it's sports entertainment. And that's why you have these drama and podcasts and shit like that. But if Sean Strickland's got to add a new wrinkle to his game, he's got to do something. He's got to, you know, if he can't get the knockout on the feet, he's got to be able to shoot a double leg. He's got to be able to mix something together. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt. There are skills there that he just chooses not to use because he's gotten so comfortable in this jab and teep strategy. And I think that part of it to do with Sean Strickland is the fact that he spars all the time. And so that fighting is so casual for him that he doesn't like get into a fight and go, fuck, I'm in danger right now. He gets into a fight and goes, yeah, we're sparring. We've done this a bunch of times. We've done this a bunch of times. Yeah, we're just sparring. And I think that if he would just add pieces to his game, close holes, no diddy, that he has the athleticism and the talent to be in that title picture. I don't know if he ever becomes champ again, but it's either that or you're basically just fighting for paychecks until you retire, because if you don't add something to your game, you're actively showing the entire fan base you don't want to improve, that you don't want to be the best in the world. And then Sean Strickland kind of starts getting into that Kevin Holland territory. You know what I'm saying? Like treating fighting like a 9 to 5, where you're not like actively trying to get better. You're just showing up for a paycheck and shit like that. So guys, there's my thoughts. Sean Strickland, it seems like is still going to be at Xtreme Couture from what he said, but I think that he should go train with Poatan and Glover Teixeira, add some aggressiveness, add some finishing instinct, and I don't know, just add something to his game. Potentially, you know, start working with a wrestling heavy camp just for like maybe one camp. Just show us something different. Show us that you actually want to be the best in the world, not that you just want to show up and get a 6-figure check 3 times a year or 2 times a year, whatever it is. So that's my thoughts, guys. What did you think about Eric Nicksick? I thought it was really cool seeing a coach be that open, even though some of it they probably should have talked about, you know, one-on-one. It seems like they both went to the internet separately. I don't know if they spoke personally, obviously, but it seems like they both went to the internet as opposed to talking to each other. But anyways, it's cool getting an inside look at how the coach thinks about it, how the fighter looks at it, and all that. So let me know your thoughts down below. Who do you think was in the right? Who do you think was in the wrong? It's probably a little bit of both. But let me know your thoughts down below. Like, subscribe. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Please make sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment down below. All that good YouTube stuff really helps me out a lot. If you want access to bonus content, become a channel member through the link below this video or the join button on our channel homepage. If you're interested in some non-MMA content from me, go check out my podcast, What's Up Bro, with Wyatt and Bo, linked below this video. Go watch this suggested video, and I'll see you next time.